Hello everyone and welcome back to Real History. As some of you may have seen, the trailer for the brand new D-Day drama entitled Pressure just dropped, and I thought I would take a few moments to give you some expert historical analysis on what looks good, what looks wrong, and what my expectations are. Let's check out the trailer right now for Pressure.
Tiger was a training op, dress rehearsal for D-Day.
So what Eisenhower is referencing here is the disaster that occurred at Slapton Sands in late April of 1944. This was indeed the dress rehearsal for the Normandy invasion. Specifically, the part that went disastrous was the dry run, or the practice run rather, for the Utah Beach sector. And in fact, my own grandfather was a participant in Exercise Tiger, as it was known. And I'm mighty glad that he survived both that and D-Day. But, we're taking a look at some of this. It's a rather impressive overhead drone shot here. And indeed, some of the survivors said that the sea was red with blood. I mean, this is really red, though. It might be a little bit overdone in this scene. But it certainly gets the point across that we're off to a rocky start here in the weeks leading up to the Normandy invasion.
They walked right into it. One mistake.
The beaches were indeed strewn with dead, not too dissimilar from what we see here. However, I'm fairly certain that we are seeing the character of Eisenhower coming to inspect the carnage. And to my knowledge, there's no evidence that he actually went to Slapton Sands after the fact. However, both he and Bernard Law Montgomery were there for the opening phases of it on April 27th, 1944. He did not witness the worst of it, though, and to my knowledge, nor did he witness the dreary aftermath as depicted here. So he was there, but not in the moment as is depicted in the movie.
Just that one mistake.
Ike, you have to stop doing this to yourself. What's done is done.
So I've long been a big Brendan Fraser fan, going all the way back to The Mummy and Blast from the Past, and some of his more recent accolades with The Whale, of course, which gained him an Oscar well-deserved. And when I first heard that he was going to be playing Dwight Eisenhower, I was elated, because when you think of bald Brendan Fraser, it's a pretty good likeness to Dwight Eisenhower when you think about it. All that said, though, I wish he had trimmed down a few more pounds. Eisenhower, even though he's pushing 60 at the time of the Normandy invasion, he was a little bit leaner than this. I don't think it could have hurt to have that reflected in the actor playing him. More importantly, the character dynamic that we see in this scene, we see him interacting with the real-life individual of Kay Summersby, who was one of his many female clerks and drivers. And the story that has long been associated with their relationship is that they were romantically involved. That has been thoroughly repudiated by historians. Really how that got started is that as she was in the final months of her life, and then after her death, her memoir was largely ghostwritten, and suffice it to say, it was largely sensationalized. And there's not a lot of historical merit in suggesting that they had a romantic or sexual relationship. They did have a professional relationship, but Eisenhower had a professional relationship with dozens of people in his headquarters with whom he was very close. So what I'm wondering is, will the movie lean into that largely unfounded romantic subplot, as Hollywood often does? I haven't seen the play upon which this movie is based. I don't know if that is likewise a component of its narrative. But boy, I really hope they don't lean into that widely disproven element of Eisenhower's professional life. But we'll see.
Group Captain Dr. James Stagg, here at the express request of General Eisenhower.
Do we have a date yet for the invasion zone?
D-Day is in 61 hours.
So here we are introduced to another real-life character of James Stagg, who is our main character in the film, often referred to as Eisenhower's meteorologist. This man lived something of a bohemian lifestyle. He was an explorer. He had explored the Canadian Arctic in the years prior to the war. He had developed a skill in the realm of meteorology, and he had long served with the Royal Weather Ministry attached to military service for much of the war leading up to all of this. The film, or at least the trailer at least, gives the impression that he's rather fresh to his responsibilities here at the Supreme Allied Headquarters. But in reality, he had been there for several months, if memory serves correctly. So I'm not sure if it's an accurate depiction that he's kind of new to the scene, and Eisenhower himself is giving an overview in regard to the scientific skills that Stagg is required to deliver here at this high-pressure moment.
Fate of the war, thousands of lives hinge on this.
I really like this shot right here. This is, of course, based in part upon the famous series of photographs of Eisenhower going to meet paratroopers, the 101st Airborne Division, on June 5th, 1944. And the famous photo where he has his hand raised, where in actuality he's talking about fly fishing and whatnot. But everything looks great here. Brendan Fraser looks great in his so-called Ike jacket. The costumes look really great. The paratroopers look spot on. So it gives me a degree of comfort and consolation to know that somebody was doing their homework here as to what these uniforms looked like and how these soldiers were equipped.
Get me the latest readings from every single base within 2,000 miles of Normandy. The invasion's confirmed for Monday. Monday.
Oh, they won't like this.
It's a good little moment here hinting at the timeline that the characters are working with, because upon this repetitive line of Monday, that of course is referring to Monday, June 5th, 1944, the date upon which the invasion would originally take place, or when it was slated to take place. And naturally, it is Stagg's character that insists to Eisenhower that because of the poor weather, the invasion should be delayed 24 hours.
If D-Day is cancelled, we will lose this war.
It's great to see the great Damian Lewis getting back to his World War II roots here. This is, of course, the gentleman who played Dick Winters in the HBO series Band of Brothers. He's a little bit too tall to be playing Bernard Law Montgomery, but he has that certain aristocratic swagger to him that I think will work very well in this motion picture.
The final decision on the timing of D-Day will be mine, and mine alone.
There is a large degree of truth to this line, and a phrase from a female war correspondent whose name was Ann O'Hare McCormick, I think summed it up best, where she wrote that Eisenhower, she said it seemed that for each of the 4 stars on his shoulder, that each one of those stars seemingly weighed a ton, and such was the glorious burden placed upon him in the build-up to D-Day. So it's a very true sentiment being expressed here.
Invade tomorrow, they're going to be washed away.
300,000 men with families that they may never see again.
Eisenhower could have quite a temper. Certainly he was quite enraged after the disaster at Slapton Sands, as was depicted at the beginning of this trailer. However, he was very talented at keeping his emotions in check. He was a very shrewd politician in addition to being a skilled general, and only a select few within his inner circle could see just how mad he could get. And I could not envision Eisenhower getting red-faced with Stagg, the meteorologist, who, although is working within the headquarters, is not necessarily part of the inner circle. And I just can't see Eisenhower getting that mad at a subordinate in such a fashion. It just wasn't his style, and that was universally said among his staff officers. So it is understandable, though, because you need to show the stakes to the audience, and you need to show characters being brought to the emotional brink. And so it is somewhat forgiving in that regard.
If we delay,
The enemy will be ready and waiting. They'll slaughter every single last one of us.
One of the pitfalls, of course, of trying to make a D-Day movie is that it will inevitably be compared to Saving Private Ryan. And indeed, this aesthetically is very similar to the scenes of Saving Private Ryan. You have the machine guns pointing down the beach. You have the German perspective. And it leads to the question of what new can be added here in any sort of depiction of this combat. On top of that, too, we see the exact sort of bunkers from Saving Private Ryan that are replicated on the bluff, when in reality bunkers in Normandy didn't really look like that. They were a lot more concealed. They weren't silhouetted on the cliffside or anything like that. And so here we see cinema being influenced by cinema rather than cinema being influenced by the historical record. It certainly speaks to the artistic legacy of Saving Private Ryan. But I think something that would have allowed this to be a little bit different, why not show British or French or Canadian soldiers storming the beach instead of Americans? Show us something that's cinematically different, because Eisenhower was in charge of them too. And so perhaps an opportunity was missed here to show us an aspect of D-Day that has never really gotten its due credit in recent cinema.
The storms that I'm talking about are real, and the wrath of nature is real.
It's a great line for us to consider as we consider not only the Second World War, but all wars, and that is the fact that Mother Nature itself is a combatant. It is something that the combatants fight with, that they contend with, that they have to put up with, and there have to be contingency plans and everything else to work around it. And so in my mind, this is as much a movie about science as it is about military history. And in that regard, it's somewhat of an interdisciplinary film. And I would be really interested to see what a meteorologist has to say about this film, in addition to somebody like me that's studied the Normandy invasion a good bit. So with all of that being said, despite a few reservations and a few qualms I had in what I just saw, I'm really excited to see Pressure. I think it has a lot of potential, and a biopic in any form about Dwight Eisenhower, I think, is long overdue. All of that said, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that this isn't the first time that Dwight Eisenhower has been shown in a D-Day depiction. The best known example of this is the 2004 TV film, Ike Countdown to D-Day, in which Stagg and Eisenhower are also depicted, and Tom Selleck does a really admirable job playing Dwight Eisenhower. So if you haven't seen that one, check it out as a little bit of pre-gaming before you go to see Pressure. I'll also add that I'm somewhat acquainted with Susan Eisenhower, Dwight Eisenhower's granddaughter, and I've had the chance to talk with her about this film to an extent. That was before the trailer came out. And when I discussed with her about Brendan Fraser being cast as her grandfather, she was a little bit taken aback, it seemed, by all of that, perhaps slightly dismayed. And so I will be really interested to see what her reaction to this footage and the film itself is, because rest assured there will be many questions posed to her about this movie. The final thing that I'll mention here, and it perhaps gives me a little bit of concern, is that there appears to be friction, antagonism almost, between the characters of Eisenhower and Stagg, which really doesn't reflect reality as best as I can tell. And my concern is that this movie is going to become a metaphor for people in power not listening to well-versed scientists. And perhaps that is a good message in a contemporary sense, but it does not, again, reflect the historical reality, because Eisenhower listened to Stagg. He trusted Stagg. And from what I see in these little bits of film, there seems to be a lot of distrust rather than trust. And so that is perhaps one of the big historical as well as artistic reservations that I have. We'll see how it plays out. With all that being said, thank you so much for joining us for this special and quick breakdown of the forthcoming D-Day movie Pressure. Tell us about your thoughts on this film. Are you looking forward to it? Do you likewise have some qualms or reservations? We want to hear about it. Also, while you're here, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Every little bit helps. Until we see you next time, my friends, stay curious.